I wish I could actually show you how it feels to sit down and start gaming on this, ROG's brand new 1440p 360Hz gaming monitor. This is actually a pretty incredible monitor because while there are faster displays out there, 480, even 500 Hz are coming out, they're all 1080p. They're all 24 or 25-inch Full HD. This is the first 1440p 27-inch 360Hz. In fact, this ROG PG27AQN, catchy name as always, is the world's fastest 1440p esports gaming monitor. The fastest response time of any 1440p monitor. There's a G-Sync module with an NVIDIA Reflex Analyzer tool so you can test your system latency, and we even have specific esports overdrive modes and a G-Sync esports picture mode. This is next level gaming. Brightness also tops out at 400 nits for SDR and 600 for HDR, so it is Display HDR 600 certified. Round the back we get 3 HDMI 2 ports, although sadly they're not 2.1, so this isn't going to be the best option out there for consoles. And that's alongside a DisplayPort, a couple of USB-As and a headphone jack. And it's all nicely squeezed into this pretty typical looking ROG design with some Go Faster AuraSync lighting on the back, a few shortcut buttons, this joystick to control the OSD, and while the stand is reassuringly metal and pretty beefy, the rest of it is all a bit plasticky. And all in, we're looking at about £1,100 for this, which is an awful lot of money and actually £300 more than the 1440p 240Hz model. Now at this level, fast response times, low latency and high refresh rates are all equally important, which is why I've foregone my clean, cable-free setup in favor of wired peripherals, because I want this system latency to be as low as possible. I also turn on NVIDIA Reflex or Reflex Boost if available in games that support it, like Overwatch 2 and Warzone. Plus, with this overclocked ROG Strix RTX 4090 GPU and this Ryzen 7950X CPU, I can't really get much more of a powerful PC to max out that 360Hz refresh, which at 1440p is obviously much more demanding than 1080. You can tell I'm not a proper pro gamer as I still like to have my graphic settings on high where possible. I remember years ago when playing PUBG, you'd turn everything to low, which would obviously boost your frame rate, but also in some cases remove textures or trees so you could actually see people hiding. But the question is, why would any pro esports gamer actually consider 1440p? What's the advantage? Well, firstly, 1080p at 27 inches looks a bit rough and you can actually see individual pixels, so the high resolution makes this bigger display size more feasible. NVIDIA have also carried out some studies that suggest when taking shots at small targets, a 27-inch 1440p display versus a 25-inch 1080 can help improve your aim by up to 3%. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but at this level, or in fact, if you consider any pro athlete, if they were given the opportunity to be 3% better at what they do, of course you'd take it. Although, unless there is an over 30s esports league, which there should be by the way, I'm not actually sure if I can physically take full advantage of this. I might be too old. Okay, so this could be the most boring thing you've ever seen on YouTube, or it could be kind of an interesting test. I wanted to find out if the refresh rate makes any difference to my skills. So we're in Kovacs here on Steam. I'm going to go between 120, 240 and 360 Hz to see if I get better. So game visuals in G-Sync esports. We'll put overdrive into esports as well. Okay, 120 Hz. Let's see what I can do. Not a bad start. We may have to go to montage or else this is going to get really boring. 2, 1, let's get a couple more. Ah, no. Final score, 67,500 score, 64 kills. Let's try 240. Let's see if I can beat that score. Does feel smoother. I can definitely tell the difference between 120 and 240. You won't be able to in this video because it's a 60 Hz video. Oh, hey, look at that. 72,000, 66 kills. And finally, 360 Hz. Let's go. Boom. It's not quite the same jump as 120 to 240, but I can feel it. And of course, the latency of your PC with your mouse and keyboard and your display as well all adds into this. 85,000! Wow! 72 kills. So apparently, I am better at higher refresh rates. I thought I would be. So for me, the jump from 120 or 144 to 240 Hz is pretty noticeable, and I think I can even feel the difference going up to 360, although of course it's much more subtle. But beyond that, I honestly don't think I would be able to tell. It's very much a case of diminishing returns. So for me, admittedly I'm not an esports gamer, but it makes sense to stop at 360 but then increase the resolution. I would much rather game on a 1440p 27-inch. And in most games, my 4090 setup, even at 1440p, I was comfortably hitting over 360, CSGO, Overwatch 2, Fortnite, Siege, Valorant, easy. Although Warzone, PUBG, and Apex are a little bit more demanding, so with high settings, I wasn't able to quite get those super silky smooth frames. Also remember that in the handful of games that support DLSS 3 with the 40 series, PUBG is not one, and that adds frame generation tech to the mix, you're going to want to turn that off. I know Flight Sim has that option to turn frame gen off specifically because while that does boost your frame rate, it comes at the cost of higher latency, and at this level, you don't want that. And speaking of system latency, if you open up the on-screen display, you can see we have this NVIDIA Reflex latency analyzer. So you can turn that on, and when you click your mouse, you can basically see in milliseconds what your PC's latency is. And the lower the number, the better. I'm looking at between 20 and 30 milliseconds, which is good, but ROG say with the right setup, you could see as low as 10 milliseconds of system latency. Also impressively, there was minimal ghosting or issues even with esports overdrive mode on, which I would definitely recommend using. There is also a nifty dual format 25-inch mode, which might be a requirement of some competitions. And also don't underestimate the impact of the jump from 1080 to 1440, which pretty much every other esports or pro display is, on how taxing it is for your system. But you're gonna need a very beefy rig behind it if you're gonna play AAA games maxed out, although maybe you wouldn't do maxed out settings, but to get close to that 360 Hz refresh. The thing is, as soon as I saw the word esports in the name of this monitor, I knew it wasn't really for me. I'm a pretty average basic gamer. But having said that, I genuinely think it has made me better, and actually as I've been using this over the last few days, I've been progressively getting better and better. Almost like I'm training my body and my reactions to keep up with this display. The high refresh and low response time lets me see the bad guys sooner, allowing me to react quicker, and then with the minimal system latency, or how long your mouse and keyboard and then PC and then your monitor can receive your input, that's all kept to a minimum as well. Does it make me a pro-level gamer? Well, I'll let you be the judge. Really, this is overkill for most of us, and at £1,100, it's pricey. Save $300 and get the 1440p 240 Hz model. That's a better bet, unless pro gaming really is your career or your passion, you have the beefy rig to back it up, and you want the best of the best. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you make of this in the comments below. Do you think it would make you a better gamer?